Ykkönen, so Carlisle Maine, ja Iivullakin, se Lakota.
Oyate on legatettuja hiivijuhaisen neuvoja, se on kylläpallo. Jälleen spesifikin kollakista ja mutsaka on riippikin löytyvää. Mutta tämä on silloin oikea mukaisesti muuta mukaisesti, kun hän ihminen muutille kikkiapallo. I just like to thank everyone who's going to speak on the football. The only one that would probably understand me is Sammy Highgrade. We speak the same language. Years ago, I met in my bull road. I heard he could pull his card out of the ditches with it, so I'm hoping that I get it back before Saturday for an upcoming travel fair. Building committee. I've been asked to talk about Carlisle Indian School. We have been involved in that struggle. Yesterday we heard about Dallas, what happened up at Standing Rock. We heard about Keystone XL. We heard many things yesterday. We had lawyers here giving us advice. And I'm hoping that in the future that these lawyers really do step up and go to bat for us and not sit back and expect me to pay them. We have many issues facing us today. I was going to do an introduction just to tell you who I am, where I come from. But I don't have that 45 minutes additional, so I'm just going to say I'm a legal bear, a tribal historic preservation officer for the Rosebud tribe, and that's my line of work. We talked about Carlisle yesterday too. There was mention. I'm involved in all those arenas, and when I have a captive audience, man, I like to lay it out and just keep going and going. But I know we're hurting for time. Our agendas have been pushed back. We're on a timeline. I'm really thankful that some of our tribal leaders showed up from other tribes or relative tribes. And I'm glad to see treaty people coming together. I first got on the Treaty Council back in 1984, 85. I was a young man, willing to take any challenges on at that time. And I've seen the movement over the years since then. And it seems like, in 2017, we're still in a struggle, still spinning our wheels. But one of the things that we have going for us is the gift of prayer. And when we have some of our spiritual leaders here with us, and they say these prayers, then it makes it worthwhile because it helps us continue our journey in all the struggles that we're facing today. I don't like to brag, but I was arrested at Standing Rock. And the reason I got arrested was protecting an elderly woman, a sacred site, and trying to protect the cultural resources of our people. And that day, Brendan, my co-op Brendan mentioned it. He mentioned what happened there at Standing Rock. That day, we were called to a meeting up in Standing Rock with all the tribal historic preservation officers within our Lakota territory and other nations. And my co-op Richard, him and Leonard showed up. they wanted to do a pipe ceremony. And so we believe in the way of the pipe. We believe in our culture. And so we stepped up and we helped them do their prayer. But during that confrontation, Richard's wife wandered away from her husband. Don't ever let her do that again. She wandered away and somehow she was one of the first to get caught. And so my friend John Eagle and I went up to the front line and we asked to speak to the leadership of that whole movement, the police unit. They allowed us to come in the back and we asked for her release. And they did. They brought her in and it was sad to see, one of our elderly women sitting there with handcuffs on. We asked for her release. They released her to us. We brought her back to the front line and we made sure that she was safely back with her husband. And then we turn around and we have one of our elders, Oceti Sakowin Nation, tribal council member, movement leader. She wanted to pray. And when you have a belief in your way and in that sacred place, you can't turn your back. So we have to stand in support of her, stand with her during her prayer. As a result, we got arrested. And I'm glad to say my charges have been dropped. I think bills have been dropped, and charges have been dropped. I don't know about granted. But, all in all, it was an experience. I really want to thank all the people that prayed, supported what was happening in Standing Rock. Good things happen as a result of Standing Rock, but there's also the negatives. And I don't want to get into that and tell you all the negative things that took place there. That's for another day. But I just wanted to say that, since then Leonard made the journey into the spirit world, and he saw what our cause was. He was participating in that cause. He was praying for us for that cause. So to me, it makes me feel good that we have our relatives on the other side still continuing to help us, give us guidance as we need it. So ya wopila kikilo leo mbete ya ina wote kina wopisa na wa wale washte ya kufikia Richard wopila kikilo ni kaita kina wopila wati. Thank you for standing up. Now, Keystone XL. There was a movement. I'm glad Mario was here. When Keystone, the first Keystone project came in, 4 tribes stepped up to the plate, tried to litigate it in federal court. And we didn't have much money, but we asked Mario Gonzalez to represent us because they say he's one of our leaders in Indian country in terms of Indian law. We took that to court, the first Keystone. We tried to stop it, yet we lost because in the state of South Dakota, when you take something to court, you better have a good case. So we were involved from day one with the first Keystone project. And then Keystone XL comes up. We lost in court. I think the judge threw it out. And we ran out of money. And of course, lawyers don't operate without funding, so that kind of put the skids to us. But I'm really proud of those tribes that really stood up right from the get-go. Keystone XL happened again, the second phase. And again, some of the tribes stood up, tried to hit it off. We tried everything and anything we can to pull them off with the federal law that they have in place. And I think we did a good job. We established a camp along the border. There was a lawyer sitting there, I can't remember if he was a lawyer, but he was telling me, he was showing you slides of what took place, what could happen, and what we could prepare ourselves to, which was good, and we are. We're not sitting back and just letting that happen. Keystone XL will become another fight, another day. And we're preparing ourselves for it. So it's not like we're stepping back and doing nothing. We are trying everything and anything that is possible. We have to get our lawyers involved. I'm really fortunate that NARC, Native American Rights Fund, stepped up and said they can help us with the Keystone XL issue. I think they gave you an update here yesterday. I can't say too much about that, but you know, we are facing many struggles. Some of it's ongoing. But we're not, you know, sometimes all we have is that prayer, that looks out there, that wisdom, that we have our spiritual leaders here to give us guidance with. Then we have our treaty people sitting here, trying to keep our treaties out in the forefront. And it's a continued struggle from the time in 1985 to now. We did a lot of meetings. I've been to a lot of meetings. I got chewed out in a lot of meetings. I think Mario probably remember that. By some of our elders, they're in the spirit world now. But it was a learning experience to be able to continue our struggle with our treaty. Now we have a president that can, with the stroke of a pen, take all that away. We will be back to square one in our struggle, but we're going to continue. I was a little disappointed at Standing Rock. We had thousands of people, they're warriors, saying they're fight, stand up, be counted. But when the time came to say that prayer to protect our way of life, with a woman standing there with a pipe, majority of them ran. Hurt my feelings. But that's okay. It was an experience that I won't forget. But we need to come together in our struggle, and we need to instill in our young people what the sacred pipe is all about, what sacredness is all about. So when they go out and represent us out there, they understand why we're doing this. That we're doing with prayer, we're doing with to protect water, the very essence of life itself. We cannot live without water. We need to bring our people together. And one good example of that is Carlisle. We had to go buy land that was illegally taken from the Black Hills. But we have to play that Washiyu, that white man's game. With the consortium of tribes pulling the resources together, we bought some sacred ground. If we didn't do that, they were going to build condos out there, build little ranches out there, break that land up into little sections. We paid a hefty price for the very land that was given to us by treaty. And then the arbitrarily took it away, ended all the treaty signing. So these are issues that we're facing today. And we're trying to build a consortium of our tribes to come together as Oceti Sakowin, as allies, bringing people together. And I think we are in a good movement with THPO because it is a spiritually based project. And we need to go back to our spirituality. We need to know who we are as Lakota nation. We encourage those members of the Oceti Sakowin to come and join us. And I think we only have several tribes now that we need at the table. And then you can build something that is powerful if you can base things on your spirituality, on our way of life, our culture, our language. So I feel good in being involved in a movement. We can grow. We can do many things. We just joined a coalition of tribes buying additional land in Fairview. We need to be doing things like that. You know, we can sit back here and complain and say, we shouldn't have to buy the Black Hills back, it's already ours. Well, we can say that. I've heard that all my life. Go shop Black Hills, you guys probably remember that. Some of you guys sitting here with white hair, right? Right? Lita? We need to create a place where our people can go without interference from the federal government, state government, county government. And we are doing that in THPO. So I'm really thankful that things come together as it is in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. Things are happening. Tribes are building. Some can't afford the finances. We ask them, come and join us anyway. We need to be one mind. We need to be one people again. So join our coalition, THPO. Get involved. You know, we're just finishing up a big project up there. We're putting up a big buffalo fence right around THPO, the whole border of that land that we own. And we said we're going to bring buffalo back to that sacred ground. We said we can bring in our Sicangu, the horse nation back. No longer will it hold cattle, sheep, pigs. It's going to be our own peoples. The natural things that save our people and sustain our people. There's a movement happening. And we want all the tribes, and any allied tribe that wish to join. Now we have Crow Creek tribe. As small as they are, they jumped on the bandwagon. The Hunts one did. Standing Rock, Cheyenne River, Oglala. Of course, in the Oglala country, this is the problem, but I'm glad they're on board. The Sioux are talking about it. Santee, Blanchard, Lower Rural. We need you guys. And we can build something really powerful right in the center of the Black Hills. Just a little bit about THPO. I'm going to talk into about all these projects that got me good started. And I do have a captive audience, so good to go. But let me get back to Carlisle. We started a movement here. Actually, our youth kids, they were here yesterday, went waiting to do a presentation on what happened with the movement and bringing our kids back from Carlisle. Carlisle, Pennsylvania in 1879, there was a Captain Pratt came, he knew the area, he came here. He wanted to start a school, a boarding school for our native children. He came here to Rosebud. And what he did was he contacted all the leaders here at Pine Ridge. He recruited all these kids to take them back to Pennsylvania to educate them. What he told our leaders was, you guys need to start speaking, learning, understanding the English language, because that way your people will understand the negotiations that go on between you and federal government. Group of kids, when President Obama called for all these youth to come together in Washington, D.C., the Rosebud Sioux tribe sent some youth to that gathering in Washington, D.C. On their way home, they stopped at Carlisle to pay their respect, to see what Carlisle was all about. And what they saw, they didn't like. They came back here and they told their tribal council, do something. Those kids have been laying there on at an army post, active army post, right at the corner of the main gate entrance, neglected. So they started a movement. We knew about Carlisle, but no one has taken any action. No tribe has taken any action. Many of our youth died there at Carlisle Indian School. So we set things in motion and we brought in the United States Army, government-to-government consultation. We brought them out here to Rosebud. And they told us, yes, we will help you, but you can get your children back. So that set things in motion. And we started doing research into Carlisle. You know, we have, right now, as we speak, we have 17 youth that left here from Rosebud. Some of them were from Pine Ridge that left here, never came home. Buried. So we want to go after them. We want them to come back to their place of origin, where they left from. Some of these were kids. Can you imagine today if somebody came to you and say, we want to educate your kids, we're going to take your kids, and they go away and never come back? How would you feel? A good example is Chief Charging Shield. Imagine if there's any Oglala reps here, you probably know who Chief Charging Shield is. He sent his child. Young girl, her name was Fanny. She was given that name, Fanny, Charging Shield. She got sick. Chief Charging Shield and Chief American Court traveled all the way out to Pennsylvania to check on his daughter. She was sick. As a matter of fact, while he was there, Fanny passed away. So he was able to at least be present and be part of the burial of his daughter. As a matter of fact, in a newspaper account said she wore a red dress that she wore, that she made while being at Carlisle. That she was buried in the coffin. Chief Sergeant Shield said, no, I want to take my daughter home. You know what they said to her at Carlisle? Chief, we barely got to you as Chief American Orator. There's no way we can send you back with your child. You have to leave her here. They sent 2 of our leaders back without their child. To me, that's total injustice. You would want that happening to you today. But we are making every effort to bring our youth home. Those ones that are buried at Carlisle. And there is controversy over that. But our people want to bring them back. We contact descendants, not just direct descendants, but relatives. When we talk about our chiefs, we had Chief Swiftberry, who sent a daughter. When she arrived, she was known as a little girl. They gave her the English name, Maud. She died there. We had a young man, son of White Hunter, Chief White Hunter. They gave his Lakota name was Nakba, Gaspar. They gave him the English name, Ernest. They both died at Carlisle. I can't remember, 6 or 8 months after they arrived. They died at Carlisle. And you know what Chief Swiftberry and Chief Whitelander, along with Chief Spotted, they wrote through the Commissioner of Indian Affairs, they wrote a letter saying, we know our children are dead, but please send them back to us, even if it's bones, so we can do the proper burial and that we can at least go through the grieving process. You know, those chiefs never received an answer. Not from Carlisle, not from the Commissioner of Indian Affairs, nothing. I can just about imagine those chiefs going to their grave not knowing where their child is, how the child died, who took care of her. You know, when you hear stories like that, it just breaks your heart. Right now, I can't say too much other than all the questions that we produced to the United States Army, we have not received an answer. And you know, when we first started negotiating with our tribal leadership and tribal council, they say, we're going to help you. And now that's kind of pushed under the table because we created too many questions. Just recently, the Northern Arapaho went after their relatives. And that's why the kids were here yesterday, because they wanted to tell you about their experience going down to Wyoming. They only brought 2 of the children back. One, they cannot even find it. One of the graves, there were 3 separate bones of 3 separate people in one of the graves. Now I understand why United States government, Army cannot answer the questions that we have. Why they are ignoring us now today. We're still going to continue. I have all these names. Mark, Woodbury, Dora Herpipe, Grateful, Rose, daughter of Longface, Ernest Knoxville, White Thunder, Dennis Drexford, Chief Blue, Tomahawk, and they even lost one in the shuffle. His name was Nathan Blue Tomahawk, who died there. The United States Army don't even have a record of it. We have Fred Howell on there, one of Dwayne's relatives, Chief. There was another one, child of Flip Canoe. Warren Painter, his name was Bear Painter. Lucy Tate, the tail. Pretty Eagle. Elvin killed 7 horses. Son of Chief Wolf. We have a Cora Price. She left from Rosebud, but she's down on the road at the Cheyenne River. Fanny Charging, we know where her gravesite is, but she also had a brother named Wallace, because the Army has no record of her. Fred Warbon is a recent one. Young Eagle, James Corman. There are many other Dakota tribes that you have to do your research. We gave you names. If you wish to go after them, join us. If you don't, if your tribe decides not to do that, that's fine. But you need to know that you have young children buried in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, on a busy street where hundreds, thousands of cars drive by every day. And we are dealing with the United States Army, and it is an active Army post. And the United States Army is exempt from all the natural law. But we're going to continue. And one day, we're going to bring our youth back. So we took these youth going to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, to bring some of our youth from the past that we neglected all these years. Think about it. We will do something. So it's not over. And we do have our youth are being represented by a lawyer from North. And we will be meeting with them because this is going to become a legal issue. And we need all the tribes to support it. It's really sad. When these kids left here, they were put in wagons. They took them all the way down to the river. And then they put them on these steamboats. This happened in 1879, 3 years after the Little Bighorn. How do you think our people were treated 3 years after the Little Bighorn? Think about it. They put them on a very boat that hauled all the dead they found at Little Bighorn. Imagine that. I bet those little people, or little children, or youth, were probably reminded what their father, their uncle did to those white troops, that little big one. Very interesting story. We have graduates from Carlisle that came home. There are still some missing out there. We don't know where they're at. But we were fortunate. I had a grandfather. His name was Ed Quickbear, or Ed Eaglebear. And then I had another one. His name was Reuben Quickbear, who went to Carlisle, who came back and made it home. So in some sense, some families were fortunate to have their children returned back to them. But we still have the ones we left behind. It's a warrior's creed. When you go into battle someplace, you always try to pick up your relatives or bring them home, or at least know where they're at, so you will retrieve them later. Yet, we didn't do that to our youth. Something to think about. I just wanted to share those comments with you. I was talking to my fellow, Mr. Whalen yesterday. We've been to a lot of these meetings where we're saying the same thing, we're acting on the same thing. Sometimes we get long-winded, and I think I'm still into my long wind here, but you know, we are doing something. Not like we're sitting back, not doing nothing. And we need involvement. Wouldn't it be nice if we can have those Oceti Sakowin come together and be one voice? Just for one day, that would really be awesome. But no, we come to these meetings, we hear sometimes rhetoric, then we go back and we move on to different things. Forget about that day, forget about that moment. But you have that ability, capability to bring your people together. And we ask you to do that. Whether it's Carlisle, Keystone, Dapple, Carlisle, uranium mining, the Black Hills, all the stuff is happening around us. We can give a lot of lip service, but we don't. Somebody mentioned that yesterday. You gotta walk the talk. You have to. Otherwise, you're spinning your wheels. Be glad they go. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so anyway, I guess, you know, I'm still gonna come after Sammy for that bull rope I let him. I heard he's been pulling cars out from the ditch with it, so hopefully I get it back in one good piece, solid. And Butch, I want to ask you, how are they treating you in Sicangu country? Good, I want to hear that, because I was going to send some warriors that way to look after you. But I just want to share this with you. If you have any questions, we are going to be facing legal issues with United States Army. And there's many I can tell you, many things I can tell you. But we'll leave it to the legal, and we're not done. By no means, we're not done. You know, it makes me upset every time I talk about those kids. And we as Lakota people forget about them. That's what bothers me. And so we're gonna make progress, and I'll keep you informed. Hope you love it. Anybody have any questions? Wow, awesome. Hope you love it. Thank you. Live on air, Oyate says my name. Uh-oh. Here comes the best words.
Okay, people, I know we talked about some candy, so all of you are not by the diabetics yet. This candy is provided by the Diabetes Prevention Program at Rosebud, by the way. It's the default glands. We got one more we're going to do before lunch. I know we scheduled it for 12 o'clock, but we started at 9 o'clock, 2 Ridge time, so we'll eat it 12 o'clock, 5 Ridge time too, okay? The last day of the meeting, any meeting, no matter where you go.
I got Carlisle, and you know what? Chief Swiftbear and Chief Whitelander, along with Chief Spotted, through the Commissioner of Indian Affairs, they wrote a letter saying, we know our children are dead, but please send them back to us, even if it's bones, so we can do the proper burial, and then we can at least go through the grieving process. You know, those chiefs never received an answer. Not from Carlisle, not from the Commissioner of Indian Affairs, nothing. I can just about imagine those chiefs going to the grave not knowing where their child is, how the child died, who took care of her. You know, when you hear stories like that, it just breaks your heart. Right now, I can't say too much other than all the questions that we produced to the United States Army. We have not received an answer. And you know, when we first started negotiating with our tribal leadership and tribal council, they say we're going to help you. And now that's kind of pushed under the table because we created too many questions. Just recently, the Northern Arapaho went after their relatives. And that's why the kids were here yesterday, because they wanted to tell you about their experience going down to Wyoming. They only brought 2 of the children back. One, they cannot even find it. One of the graves, there were 3 separate bones of 3 separate people in one of the graves. Now I understand why the United States government, Army cannot answer the question that we have. Why are they ignoring us now today? We're still going to continue. I have all these names. Mark, Woodbury, Dora Herpipe, Breakable, Rose, daughter of Longface, Ernest Knoxall, Whitelander, Dennis Drexford, Chief Blue, Tomahawk, and they even lost one in the shuffle. His name was Nathan Blue Tomahawk, who died there. The United States Army don't even have a record of it. We have Fred Holloman Bear, one of Dwayne's relatives. Chief, there was another one, child of Flip Canoe. Warren Painter, his name was Bear Painter. Lucy Tate Detail. Pretty Eagle. Elvin killed 7 horses. son of Chief Rose. We have a core Christ. She left from Rosebud, but she's down on the road at Cheyenne River. Fanny Charging Shield. We know where her gravesite is. But she also had a brother named Wallace, because the Army has no record of it. Fred Warbon is a recent one. Young Eagle. James Cornman. There are many other Lakota tribes that are, you have to do your research. We gave you names. If you wish to go after them, join us. If you don't, if your tribe decides not to do that, that's fine. But you need to know that you have young children buried in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, on a busy street where hundreds, thousands of cars drive by every day. And we are dealing with the United States Army, and it is an active Army post. And the United States Army is exempt from all the natural law. But we're going to continue. And one day, we're going to bring our youth back. So we took these youth going to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, to bring some of our youth from the past that we've neglected all these years. Think about it. We will do something. So it's not over. And we do have our youth are being represented by a lawyer from North. And we will be meeting with them because this is going to become a legal issue. And we need all the tribes to support it. It's really sad. When these kids left here, they were put in wagons. They took them all the way down to the river. And then they put them on these steamboats. This happened in 1879, 3 years after the Little Bighorn. How do you think our people were treated 3 years after the Little Bighorn? Think about it. They put them on a very boat that hauled all the dead they found at the Little Bighorn. Imagine that. I bet those little people, or little children, or youth, were probably reminded what their fathers, their uncles did to those white troops at Little Bighorn. Very interesting story. We have graduates from Carlisle that came home. There are still some missing out there. We don't know where they're at. But we were fortunate. I had a grandfather. His name was Ed Quickbear, or Ed Eaglebear. And then I had another one. His name was Reuben Quickbear, who went to Carlisle, who came back and made it home. So in some sense, some families were fortunate to have their children returned back to them. But we still have the ones we left behind. It's a warrior's creed. When you go into battle someplace, you always try to pick up your relatives or bring them home, or at least know where they're at so you will retrieve them later. Yet, we didn't do that to our youth. It's something to think about. I just wanted to share those comments with you. I was talking to my fellow, Mr. Whaley yesterday. He said, we've been to a lot of these meetings where we're saying the same thing, we're acting on the same thing. Sometimes we get long-winded, and I think I'm tail end of my long wind here, but you know, we are doing something. Not like we're sitting back, not doing nothing. And we need involvement. Wouldn't it be nice if we can have the Oceti Sakowin come together and be one voice? Just for one day, that would really be awesome. But no, we come to these meetings, we hear sometimes rhetoric, then we go back and we move on to different things. Forget about that day, forget about that moment. But you have that ability, capability to bring your people together. And we ask you to do that. Whether it's Carlisle, Keystone, Dapple, Carlisle, uranium mining in the Black Hills, all the stuff is happening around us. We can give a lot of lip service, but we don't. Somebody mentioned that yesterday. You gotta walk the talk. You have to. Otherwise, you're spinning your wheel. Yeah, so anyway, I guess, you know, I'm still gonna come after Sammy for that bull rope I let him. I heard he'd been pulling cars out from the ditch with it, so hopefully I get it back in one good piece, solid. And Butch, I want to ask you, how are they treating you in Sicangu country? Good, I want to hear that because I was going to send some warriors that way to look after you. But I just want to share this with you. If you have any questions, we are going to be facing legal issues with United States Army. And there's many I can tell you, many things I can tell you. But we'll leave it to the legal, and we're not done. By no means, we're not done. You know, it makes me upset every time I talk about those kids. And we as Lakota people forget about them. That's what bothers me. And so we're gonna make progress, and I'll keep you informed. We'll be like. Anybody have any questions? Wow, awesome. Thank you. Live on air, Oyate said my name. Uh-oh. Here comes the benchmarks. Okay, people, I know we talked about some candy to all of you that are not by the diabetics yet. This candy is provided by the Diabetes Prevention Program at Rosebud, by the way. It's the Deepwater Lands. We got one more we want to do before lunch. I know we scheduled it for 12 o'clock, but we started at 9 o'clock Pine Ridge time, so we'll eat it 12 o'clock Pine Ridge time too, okay? The last day of the meeting, any meeting, no matter where you go.